Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be showing you how to create these cute little whale amigurumi plushies. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you that this pattern is very versatile. You can use any yarn and any hook size you wish. The only difference is the end result. If you use a chunky yarn like this little guy right here, he will come out pretty large. And then if you use smaller yarns, you'll see the size difference in the plushies. Let's get started. The materials that you will need for this pattern are as followed. Yarn of your choice in 2 different colors, one for the top and one for the bottom. You will also need yarn for the eyes, and a crochet hook of your size. I'm going to be using a 5.5 millimeter for today's tutorial, a yarn needle, a stitch marker, a pair of scissors, and stuffing of your choice, whether it is the regular old filling or yarn scraps. Let's get started. Alright, now that you have your materials, let's get started. So what we are going to start with is a magic circle. Now everyone will do a magic circle differently, but this is the easiest way that I know how to do it. So first off, you make a slip knot onto your hook, and then to make a magic circle, all we're going to do is we're going to chain 4 and then slip stitch together. So let's do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over, pull through our loop, and we're going to make 1 chain 3 more times. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. And now we have 4 chains, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into this first chain right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our hook through that chain, grab our yarn, so yarn over, pull through that first chain, and then now that we have 2 loops on our hook, we're going to take this front loop, and then we're going to pull through our second one, just like that. And that is a magic circle, or magic ring, whichever you want to call it. For row 1, we are going to do 8 single crochets into the center of our magic circle. Pull this loose a little bit if you can see in through there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our hook into that middle, hold our tail, and we're going to yarn over, pull through the center of our circle, and then we are going to yarn over again, and we're going to pull through both loops on our hook, just like that, for a single crochet. Now I'm going to place my stitch marker into this first stitch that we made. That way I know that this is the first stitch of our row. Now we're going to need to make 7 more. So as before, put your hook through the center, grab your working tail, so yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, and then pull through 2. Just like that. So that is 1, 2, and 3. Right, now that we are on our last one, we are going to again yarn over, pull through the center of our circle, yarn over again, and pull through. I'm going to count my stitches and make sure that I've got 8. Now that I've got 8, I'm going to pull my tail, the one that we're not working with, and we're just going to close that circle as best we can. Right? And that is your first row. For row 2, we are going to do an increase round. So what that means is we're going to be placing 2 single crochets in each of our stitches that we just made. So let me show you. So we'll take out our stitch marker from our first stitch. We're going to insert our hook into these top stitches right here. We're going to yarn over, pull through those stitches, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through. I'm going to replace my stitch marker. Then I'm going to place another single crochet right next to the one that we just made. 4, yarn over, grab our yarn, pull through, yarn over again, and pull through. Alright, let's do another one. So in our next little V area like this, we are going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in that same stitch, we're going to do the exact same thing. Now that we've come to our last stitch, we're going to do the same thing we have been. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. For row 3, what we are going to do is we are going to do 7 single crochets and then an increase. And then we're going to do that 2 times to get 18 stitches. So let me show you. Take out my stitch marker. Place our first single crochet. So yarn over, pull through, 2, place my stitch marker back. That was 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we will place an increase in that next stitch. So as before, you're going to put 2 single crochets in this same stitch. Just like that, and then you're going to repeat it till you get to the end. Your last stitch should be that increase if you've done it correctly. Alright, we are on that last stitch, so we are going to be doing an increase. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through 2, and then make your second stitch. For row 4, all we're going to do is single crochet all the way around. So take out our stitch marker and place our first stitch. Replace your stitch marker. And then we will just single crochet all the way around for this row. Going through your top loops, you're yarning over, pulling through, yarn over again, pull through 2. Now your project will want to kind of curve in on itself as you're working. So what you're going to want to do is just make sure it pops out just like that. because we are making the top of the little guy right here. Now for row 5, what we're going to do is we're going to 3 single crochets, make a fin, 10 single crochets, make another fin, 4 single crochets, make a tail, and then 1 single crochet. Now I know what you're thinking, that was a lot, and how am I going to get through it? Don't worry, I'll do each step with you. So first, we're going to make our first 3 single crochets. So we took out our stitch marker, insert the hook, yarn over, and pull through. So that's stitch number 1. Go through our next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's our second one. And then here's our third, yarn over, and pull through. Alright, now we have made the first 3 single crochets. Now we're going to do the fin. For the fin, what we will do is we will chain 3. So let's yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through, and that's 2, and then 1 more time to make 3. Alright, for the next step, we're going to start in the second chain, which is going to be right here, and we're going to make a slip stitch. So insert the hook, grab your yarn, pull through, and then pull through your loop on your hook. And that is our slip stitch. And then we will make a single crochet in the next chain, so this one right here. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and pull through 2. And then we will make 1 slip stitch into the same stitch that the fin started in. So that's this stitch right here that you can see. So we will insert our hook right next to that single crochet, grab our yarn, and pull through. And then your fin should look like that. Now that we've made our first fin, we're going to single crochet 10. We are coming up on our 10th single crochet. And then we are going to make another fin. So the same thing, we're going to chain 3, so yarn over, pull through, and 3, slip stitch into that second chain, grab your yarn, pull through, and pull through. Then we make a single crochet into the next chain right here. And then we slip stitch into the same stitches that we started. Insert your hook, yarn over, and then pull through. There, we've got our second fin. Now that you've made your second fin, we're going to single crochet 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we are going to make the tail. To make the tail, we're going to chain 4. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then, starting in your second chain, we are going to do a half double crochet. So in this next chain right here, the one right in front of my thumb, We're going to yarn over, and then we're going to insert our hook into that chain, just like that. Yarn over again, pull through, and now you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again, and then pull through all 3. Just like that. Then in the next chain, we are going to make a single crochet. So let's insert our hook over and yarn over again and pull through 2. And then in your last chain, you're going to make a slip stitch. So insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. And then you will slip stitch into the body. So right where this single crochet is right here, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again. That is one part of the tail. So now we're going to repeat what we just did. So let us yarn over, pull through, that's 1 chain, 2, 3, and 4. In our second chain, we're going to do a half double crochet. So again, yarn over, insert your hook through that chain, yarn over again, pull through. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over once more, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Just like that. And then we will single crochet into the next chain. So insert your hook through that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and pull through 2. And then in our last chain, we will slip stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again. And then to finish that, we're going to slip stitch back into the body. Might be a little difficult to see, but that same stitch that we slip stitched in for that last tail. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull through, and then pull through again. And then we have one stitch left in our row. And then what you will do is you will make one final single crochet. Show you. Tails should look just like that. Now we are going to do a color change. So grab your secondary yarn. And so what I like to do is before I start the next stitch, this last stitch that we just made, I'm going to slowly pull this working yarn, pull that out. So we've got 2 loops just loose. Insert your hook through those 2 loops. Put your main color tail down. Grab your secondary color. Drape it over. Kind of hold them down. And then basically yarn over and pull through those 2. And kind of pull your working tail a little bit tight of your first color. And this is going to be a color change. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a slip stitch into the first stitch. But this row, we are going to be working in the back loop only. So let me show you. So what that means, as you can see, we've got our front loop here, right there, and then our back loop is the one behind it. So we're going to be working in this back, into these back loops right here for this whole row. So let me show you. I'm going to put my hook back through, tighten that up, take out my stitch marker, and then instead of going through the front like we normally do like this, we're going to go through the back loop, just like that, yarn over, pull through, then pull through again. I'm going to pull on my tails just to make that a little bit tighter. And then I'm going to put my stitch marker back into that loop. This makes it look like the color change is a little bit better. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet into the back loops of this row. So insert through the back, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through two. So in between our stitches. All right, now that we've got to our fin, what you're going to do is you're going to push your fin forward. You're going to go into the stitch that is right next to it. So right here. So into the back loop, over, and pull through. So it goes right underneath your fin. So let's continue on into that back loop only. All the way around. All right, so we've come up to our second fin. So we're going to insert the hook through the back loop, make our single crochet, pull the fin forward, and then go through that next loop that you see right next to the fin. And let me show you what we're going to do when we get to our tail. All right, so same thing. We've got one stitch before our tails. Make that single crochet. Now the tails can be a little tricky. So you're going to kind of pull them forward. And you see these kind of loops right here. What we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook through that. And we are just going to make a slip stitch like that. So it kind of bridges the gap a little bit between one side of our tail, through the middle, and then through the next. Now, this part's a little bit tricky. You're going to move your tails, and you see the last color in blue right here. That is our last stitch for the row. Then you will make a single crochet. Before we start row 7, we are going to cut our main color. We no longer need that. So cut a decent amount of a tail. All right. what I normally like to do is I will take my main color tail and the start of the white, and I will just do a knot. I'm gonna do that twice. That just kind of holds our yarn. Then I'm going to kind of just, for right now, stuff those into the plushie. So row 7, we are just going to single crochet all the way around. Place our stitch marker back. And then we are just going to single crochet all the way around. We're coming up to our last single crochet of this round. All right. Then now your plushie should look a little bit like this. Now before we continue on, we are going to place the eyes. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place your eyes between the rows 3 and 4. So how to count them? So this is row 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we kind of want it between this row right here and this row. And we want to kind of place them in front of our fins. So now I normally like to kind of, that first stitch in front of the fin, I kind of want to just kind of go up one and over. And this is where I'm going to place my eye. But wherever you feel like you want to place them, place them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our scrap yarn. We're going to take the darker color first. Take your yarn needle. Place that onto your hook. You want at least a decent amount of yarn for this, because this one strand is going to make both of these, the pupils right here, as you see. So we're going to take our yarn, and what I like to do is I like to go through the back of the plushie first. So kind of find the row that you want. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, that looks pretty good to me. Insert our needle, pull our yarn through, grab one side of the yarn, pull that through, pull the other one down, and then we're going to go through this stitch right here, kind of underneath it. Insert your needle, make sure you don't stab yourself, and pull through. I want it kind of loose like that. Then I'm going to take my other side and do the exact same thing. Find where you want to place your eye. Be careful. Insert your needle through the back of the plushie. Pull through. And then find the next spot where you're going to pull that down. Just like that. Be careful not to pull too tight. Right. I like to do, before I go for the white, I'm going to tie these two pieces together. Just kind of loose like that. And we just kind of tuck it into the plushie. Now we're going to take the white and do the exact same thing, but you want to go a little bit off to the side around the back. So you're going to take your secondary yarn for your eye. Kind of insert your needle somewhere kind of near the back of that stitch. Pull through one side of the tail. And we want to kind of go around this color. So, working on the back side. Careful not to stab yourself. I have done that on multiple occasions. Pull through slowly. Kind of pull the yarn a little bit to the side. And pull a little tight. You just kind of want to make it look a little bit like that. See the difference? Now I've got a long enough tail, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Going through the stitch, but you want to go a little bit behind your eye color. And then basically we're going to bring that down, go through bottom stitch of your eye color. And just like that. Take off my yarn needle. Alright, so your eyes should look a little bit like that. Or if you want to use a safety eyes, you can do that too. But I think doing the eyes this way, embroidering them on, just gives them a little bit more character. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that white and we're just going to tie it together. Just a little loosely. And stuff that into the plushie. For row 8, we are going to do 1 single crochet and then an invis decrease. And we're going to do that all the way around. So let me show you. So we're going to take out our stitch marker. Make our first single crochet. Place your stitch marker into your first stitch. Now we're going to make the invis decrease. So what we're going to do, instead of like what we did before with adding the increase of adding 2 single crochets per stitch, what we're going to do is we're going to insert our hook through the front loop of the next stitch and then insert the hook into the next stitch. So the next 2 stitches after our first single crochet, the front loops, that's what we're going to do. We're going to yarn over, pull through both of those, and then yarn over again. So what it does is it basically pulls these 2 stitches together. All right, so let's do this again. So we're going to do our single crochet. Then we're going to do the invis decrease. So these next 2 front loops, what we're going to do is insert our hook through one, insert through the second one, yarn over, pull through those front loops, yarn over again, and then pull through 2. And we're going to do that all the way around. So single crochet, and then an invis decrease. So front loop of the next 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over. All right, so you're gonna end up coming up to, you're gonna have just 1 single crochet at the end of the row, which is gonna be all right. So before we start row 9, we're gonna stuff the plushie a little bit. So let's take your filling, And then just kind of start lightly stuffing the plushie. Alright, so now that you've stuffed the plushie just a little bit, we're going to start row 9. So we're going to do again what we just did. We're going to do 1 single crochet and then an invis decrease. Oops. Just about pulled my yarn out, which would have not been good. I have done that many times. So what we're going to do is we're going to do single crochet and place my stitch marker back. Then we're going to do the invis decrease, so which is you're going through the front loop of the next 2 stitches, yarning over, pull through, yarn over again, and then pull through 2. And we're going to do that all the way around. So single crochet, front loops only of the next 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through, then pull through again. You're just going to end with a single crochet, and that's all right. All right. So what we're going to do, going to take out the stitch marker, and we're going to stuff the plushie a little bit more, just till you have it to the kind of chunkiness that you want. Or, alright, stuff the plushie the rest of the way to your satisfaction. I'm going to make this one a little bit chunky. You can see my lovely Sume sneaking a peek. No, that's not your plushie. Anybody who crochets or does any sort of crafting and has pets, you understand that they just want to just be with you no matter what. So if it looks like I'm not moving my left hand, is because she is on it. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to leave a long tail. Nope, don't look at it. Cut a long tail. Toss that aside. Pull your cut tail through. Hello, Sume dear. You're gonna take your yarn needle. And then we are just going to sew the rest of this closed. So let me show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tail. We're going to go through the front loops only of this. So this front loop, and then front loop of the next one pulling through. We are going to do this all the way around the circle. Just going through the front loops of each stitch. Now, if you want, you can do this a few times, if you want. But I'm going to do just the once, and we're going to pull that closed tight. Now we're gonna have a little bit of a bump, but that's okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the yarn needle on. I'm gonna stuff it through that center. And then come out somewhere in the white. And then just pull that a little bit. And that will make it a little bit more flat and round. Alright, so what we're going to do now with our long tail. So you see, what I like to do is I like to go through the front stitches, just like this, of a couple front loops of some of these stitches. So just like this, pull through. And then what I like to do is I like to go back the same way we just came. So to do that, as you can see, we've got two of our stitches right here. I'm going to basically kind of cross over this front one and go through this second one. Makes it just a little bit more stable. Pull that through. Then I'm just going to take this, poke it through the plushie somewhere else, and do that just about maybe one more time. I really like to try to secure it best I can. Right. Now that we have that, we're going to take our scissors and we are going to cut our tail. So get as close to the plushie body as you can. All right. And there you have it, your own crocheted amigurumi whale plushie. I hope this tutorial was helpful. And thank you guys for crafting along with me. Happy crafting!